Good morning there, shipmates. Happy Friday. Let the games begin. The 12th of June. Happy Loving Day. Mary is the person who turned me on to this being a special day in honor of Mildred and Richard Loving, who got married, I believe, in Washington, D.C. in 1967, because Washington, D.C. was kind of one of those zones where the rules of segregation did not apply. But they lived in Virginia. And so when they went back to Virginia, they were woken up in the middle of the night by police who arrested them for unlawful cohabitation. Unlawful cohabitation. There's a rule for everything. And they were given a choice whether to go to jail or leave the state, which they chose to do. But they and their love, and I think it's really neat that their last name was Loving, began the work of dismantling the segregation laws and allowing for people like me and Mary to get married, and it not being illegal. As it was in 16 states. It was an illegality. And in the other states, it was just frowned upon. So they were pretty amazing. They wrote, once they moved, they wrote a letter to Bobby Kennedy, who at that time was the Attorney General, who directed it to the NAACP, who ended up arguing it all the way up to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, interestingly, in one of the few unanimous decisions that every Supreme Court justice said, yeah, this is bullshit. And they were able to overturn the segregation laws. They opened doors. And all they wanted to do was love each other. Isn't that interesting? They just wanted to love each other. And yet there were people out there who were not interested in such a thing. And I didn't say 1867. I said 1967. So, not that long ago. I mean, a lot of people who are looking at this right now weren't born then, but I was alive during that period of time. This Loving Day hasn't been around for that long, but it's a really nice and wonderful thing to commemorate these people, even though both of them are gone. I think Richard died in 1975, and Mildred died in 2008. Now, I don't know whether she was able to see Barack Obama win the election. I don't know when she died, but I hope she did. Man, what a wonderful thing that would be for her to have had a chance to see how our country has progressed. And how it still has a long way to go. Somebody wrote something that said, how long are we going to pay for, the sins of our great grandparents? And my answer is, once all the numbers even out, I mean, there's going to have to be there's still a lot that needs to be done in terms of, opening up the ghettos and making sure quality education exists. And one of the most racially, I think, ugly things that exist right now are property taxes that go to schools. So schools in Elkhorn are by far, these cathedrals of higher learning versus a lot of the schools that are in Omaha, especially North Omaha, where they don't have a lot of money, are not. So yeah, changes are still needed to be made. I remember writing one time, I said, we're moving forward, things are happening, but these next few generations are going to have to see a lot of changes that they are going to feel are unfair, maybe because they are, but they're just trying to even things out. We're trying to break up the ghettos. We're trying to break up a defeatist way of thinking. We are showing that there is no reason truly for almost every position that exists to not have a good smattering of people of color in all of the positions that exist. Anyway, there's so much more I'd like to talk about, but we're at 5 minutes. So happy Loving Day to you folks. I hope you have a loving day. I hope you do something lovely for someone in honor of Mildred and Richard. I hope that you are kind to each other. I hope you're good for do good things, and that you stay healthy, and you just understand how wonderful it is to be alive. Folks, I wish you a great day. I wish you a great weekend. I look forward to talking to you again. Wash your hands. Love you.